Hello, it's just me today, and we're doing something a bit different. I am introducing today our new season, and our new season is going to be a bit different. So, this season we'll be focusing just on menopause. Why am I doing that? Because World Menopause Day is coming up in October, and I thought we should do something in honor of World Menopause Day. And I know it's a bit early to be talking about menopause in the run up to World Menopause Day in October, in September, but I hope you'll bear with me, because what I want to do is feature some of the amazing episodes on the podcast that have come from the archives on menopause. Now, I never wanted this podcast to be just about menopause, although I know that menopause is obviously a big part of midlife for women, isn't it? But we are about so much more than just our hormones. So that is why I cover anything and everything to do with midlife and beyond on the podcast. But sometimes I think that the fabulous content about menopause on the pod doesn't get the profile it deserves. So I'm changing that with a special rerun series, and I'm calling it Menopause Matters, because menopause does matter and we matter. So this year's World Menopause Day, the theme is lifestyle medicine, and I'm interpreting that as lifestyle as medicine. And if you have listened to me for a while or read my book or whatever, you will know that I am very passionate about the impact of lifestyle on our menopause transition. So I am very pleased that the theme this year is lifestyle medicine. I'm hoping it doesn't mean vitamins and supplements and things like that. I don't think it does. I think it means lifestyle as medicine. Anyway, that's the way I am thinking about it. So I just wanted to give you a little interlude on my early menopause experience. If you haven't heard me chunter on about it before, if you have, please excuse me. I'm just going to explain it for the benefit of those who haven't. So at 41, I was given a diagnosis of early menopause. It was a bit of a shock, as you might imagine. I found out because I was having hormone tests for fertility, not for whether or not I was in menopause, because we now know that it's not worth testing to know whether you are in perimenopause or even through menopause, because our hormones fluctuate so much during that time. But I was given this diagnosis, and I was very curious back then. I was very lost. I was very upset and unhappy about what had happened to me. And I went off and I found a nutritionist called Dr. Marilyn Glenville. And I went to see her, and she put me on a special diet, and she gave me a herbal tincture. I think there was Agnus castus in it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there was. But what she wanted me to do was strip away all of the things that might be impacting my hormones. So I had no caffeine, I had no alcohol, I had no sugar, wasn't even allowed bananas. Everything I ate had to be organic. My personal products I was encouraged to have as organic as possible. And I was encouraged to eat a little and often, and to have protein, so that I could maintain stable blood sugar levels, so that my blood sugar levels weren't fluctuating and therefore causing my hormones to fluctuate. So I've talked about this at length, and you can read about it in my book. So it was groundbreaking for me. I mean, I've learned all sorts of things, like, air pollution can be responsible for causing an early menopause, and I've always lived in the world's most polluted places. So what this really taught me is that we can what I didn't tell you was that after 5 weeks I went back to bleeding. I went to have another hormone test, and I was told that I hadn't gone through menopause. Well, I know that now, looking back and connecting the dots, but I didn't know it then. I was in perimenopause. I wasn't through menopause, and I wasn't even asked the right questions as to whether I'd stopped bleeding and for how long I'd stopped bleeding. Such was the woeful knowledge of the doctor that I saw at that time. I'm now 59. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be 60 next year. So it's a very long time since I had that diagnosis. But what it taught me is that we can have so much more impact on our menopause transition than we think. It's not something that just happens and we're powerless and we need a drug to fix us, because we're not in need of fixing and all of that. You can listen to me witter on at length about all of those issues, but that's just by way of explaining why lifestyle as medicine is so important to me and my understanding of the menopause transition. So, over the next series, we're going to be revisiting some of the most popular and powerful conversations I've had on menopause, which all relate to this idea of lifestyle medicine. So it's from the science and symptoms to lifestyle strategies. It's staying fit and healthy. It's looking at our diet. It's looking at cultural aspects, which all impact lifestyle. It's about our relationships, the impact of stress and trauma, and the very fundamental transformational aspects of this profound period of change in a woman's life. There are lots more episodes on menopause on the pod out of 180 episodes now. How bonkers is that? 180 episodes. And I struggle to pick those that I have included in this season, but I have delved deep into the archives to find ones that haven't been heard for quite some time, but they remain just as relevant today as they were when they first aired. I'll be featuring major important menopause champions like Maryon Stewart, Newby, Jackie Lynch, Karen Arthur, and Breeda Bermingham, for example. There are some truly magnificent conversations, and I know you're going to be inspired and empowered by these women because they have your back. They have just amazing wisdom and experience to share, and they still, it's a bit shameful, I think, really, but sometimes, the view is still quite radical. When we look at the today's predominant narratives about menopause, some of these women, what they're saying to me sounds like common sense, but to some people, it still seems to be quite a radical approach. Anyway, so if you're new to the podcast, this is a perfect way to dive in and learn lots about menopause. And if you've been listening for a while, I promise you'll find new inspiration and reminders in these episodes. Menopause isn't something that we just go through and forget. It's an ongoing journey. Our hormonal health is an ongoing journey. And these conversations are here to support you, not just now if you're going through perimenopause, but forward through into, long, healthful life, I hope. And if you enjoy this podcast, I have a request. Please, 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 could you share it? And could you leave me a review on Apple Podcasts? I realize I haven't had a few for quite a while on there. And I think that's why I don't get the exposure I should do. So I don't have a marketing team behind me. I don't actually make any money at all off this podcast. I'm currently editing the episodes myself. I do the whole thing. I have a lovely assistant who helps me with some of the marketing, which is brilliant. Thank you, Hazel. So, but, if you could help me get the message out, because I really think these are important conversations that more people need to hear. So please help me out by leaving me a review or sharing the podcast. Now I just want to do a quick divergence, because I love to do these things. If you haven't watched, this is completely different, out of left field, literally. It's now, I'm recording this at the beginning of September, and if you haven't watched any of the Women's Rugby World Cup, go and watch it. Oh my goodness me. I have long been a fan of Ilona Maher, who is an American rugby player, but I'm now trying to learn all the names of the stars in the Roses team, the English rugby team. But I'm finding that because I like certain videos on Instagram and the algorithm feeds me what I like to watch, doesn't it? I'm seeing all these videos about the Women's Rugby World Cup. And I think it is so powerful right now because we are seeing women, young women of all shapes and sizes. Gone is the you need to be thin and svelte and look a certain way. These are big, strong, powerful, fast, inspirational women, and they are just blowing my head. I just want to watch Women's Rugby World Cup videos all the time at the moment because it's so inspiring. And Ilona has been talking about this for ages, and she's saying, she did a little video about how, she was always described as big. And she says she met an older woman who said to her, "Oh, you're not big, you're beautiful." And Ilona's kind of thinking, I am big and I am beautiful and I am powerful and I am strong. And we've got to strip away these associations between a certain type of femininity, and that's what is representative of a woman. With the Women's Rugby World Cup, we are seeing women of all shapes and sizes, and it's so inspiring, and so I just love it. So go and watch. You can watch on catch up, but go and watch some, because I promise you'll come away just feeling, wow, and I think this is so strong and powerful for women of all ages, especially for younger women. And you'll know as well, if you've listened to me, that I think of beauty, it can be all shapes and sizes, it can be all ages. We don't lose our beauty as we age, we evolve in the same way that we don't fall off a cliff when we go through menopause. We don't fall off a hormonal cliff. We're supposed to have a different hormonal profile. Anyway, I'm beginning to rant now, but I'm very excited about the Women's Rugby World Cup, so go and watch it if you haven't already. But back to the topic in hand. I hope you enjoy this new season, all about menopause. I should really say perimenopause, but everybody talks about menopause, but it's perimenopause. It's the period up to menopause. It's both. Let's use both words. But perimenopause is the period where our hormones are fluctuating. It's where women usually need the most help and support. So this is in the run-up to World Menopause Day in October. I hope you enjoy it, and just listen out for the most magnificent episodes that we are re-releasing in this special rerun series. Enjoy! Thanks for listening to this episode of the Magnificent Midlife Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, follow, and share it. Also, giving a 5-star review really helps get the word out. You'll find the show notes at magnificentmidlife.com. That's also where you can get my book, Magnificent Midlife, Transform Your Middle Years, Menopause and Beyond. Make the very best of your next chapter. Help me change the world, one magnificent midlife woman at a time.